We are live on PTSD Parent.
Sweaty and unshowered.
Wow. What are you doing right now? Okay.
Staring at the computer.
There. So we have to either look there at the camera or at each other.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's weird.
I brushed my teeth.
Well, thank God, because I have not done that yet.
Oh, gosh.
I won't breathe on you. But here, you gotta share that to your Facebook.
As you walk away, I have to share this.
I assume you're, saying something,
I am dressed very patriotic today because I didn't know we were doing this.
Kelly woke up and thought it was July 4th, everybody.
I look super cute in camouflage. Hello.
Right. Everybody does.
And then I wore this shirt because it's really comfortable, but my husband hates it. But he's at work. Not that I really care. I don't know. This is going off the rails.
So
what are we here
fast.
for?
So fast. Oh
I
my
also have
gosh.
sweats on, even though it's going to be probably 80 degrees today, but I don't care.
Right.
Because I am not ready to put these sweats away. And they're Old Navy.
This is what I deal with every Friday at 10 o'clock. Can you please help me? Okay. Right? Post. Okay, so we're sharing it.
Yeah, that's what live means.
I know. Oh my gosh.
We're talking about the fact that we're launching our PTSD Parent Podcast where you can get more of this.
More, yes.
Just in verbal form.
Sonic form.
No.
Actually.
Some people are the worst. Oh. Well, I didn't balance the la.
So, this is Kelly.
Hi.
And I'm Chris. And
I call us PTSD partners. No, partners in PTSD. One of those. Or both.
Looks like I'll be looking some stuff up later today. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is my PTSD partner. Mostly because I didn't have PTSD before I met Kelly. And that is kind of true.
I bring out the worst in everyone.
It's a gift. It actually is a gift. You do have a certain skill set.
My husband does say people meet you and then their lives blow up.
Yeah, he actually does say
that. And
that.
it was a compliment.
Mm-hmm. And he told me that after my diagnosis.
He doesn't warn
handy.
people. He won't warn you, so you're welcome.
No. But here's the fun thing. We are launching a podcast. We have season 1 packaged, ready, and delivered to iTunes. Mm-hmm. It is actually there now if you want to search, ahead of our official launch date, which is June 5th. If
it's a Tuesday. Whatever the Tuesday is, that
closest to June 5th. Kelly and I are high detail people, so
highly organized.
So this is going to get all kinds of fun.
Yes.
But here's the nice thing. So Kelly, what
are you doing, cats?
We have cats.
Well, you have cats.
I have cats. Yeah,
I'm not involved in. I
we don't have anything together.
No.
Yeah.
I don't clean your litter box.
Oh, golly. So many things. I forgot what I was saying, dang it. And it was super important. Anyway, Kelly and I have a podcast coming out June 5th, or the
closest Tuesday.
Tuesday to that date, because we're not looking at a calendar right now. Season 1 is in the bag, as they say.
We already said that.
Okay. And
I told you we should have talked about it.
Yes, we should have talked about it. But season 2 is coming. And so part of season 2, actually, is we would love feedback from you guys wanting to know what it is that you would like to discuss, you would like us to discuss. And so to get into that, I thought, because we're doing a video thing, not an audio thing, that Kelly and I would recap a little just how we got to this point.
I was thinking about that yesterday because I wrote about it.
Okay.
And I describe it as the dream I never had. So it was completely by accident.
I'm not offended by that at all.
Providential or
universal
accident, I guess you would say.
All right.
Yeah, so
give me your version of this, because this could be good.
Yeah, I literally woke up one morning and thought, there have to be other parents out there with post-traumatic stress disorder. It can't be just me. Seems obvious. Like much of my life. And I thought, PTSD parent. That sounds really good. It's probably taken.
Right.
So I went to my computer, looked it up, wasn't taken, not a website yet. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I'm going to do this. And that's where it started. And then NPR had some kind of contest for podcasting. And I was like,
right.
I've never done that before. That sounds awesome. And so I was like talking to you about it. And you were like, I'm like a total audio guy, right? And I was like, oh, no. And so
I don't think I said it like that, just for the record.
Flipped your hair more. I'm a total audio guy. I worked in radio for like 50 years. And I said, what? Anyway, this was before your diagnosis.
Right. Yes.
And you were like, yeah, let's work on this project. So we applied for it. Did not win.
Did not. Obviously. NPR, you missed a huge opportunity.
Missed out on this.
On this. All this.
And then,
oh my gosh.
And then you were like a dog with a bone. Let's do this project. And I was like, okay. Don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And you were like, doesn't matter. Let's do it. And I was like, okay. And that's basically how we're here. Basically, you bullied me.
I bullied you into it. And by the way, thank you, TJ. I miss you guys too. I didn't really bully you into it. So I have... so my version of that same story,
yes,
which is a little different. Actually, not too much. There's just less hair flipping in my version. It was you and I talked about it. Because you share your experience with PTSD a lot. But like I've said before, in a good way. And so we had talked about that several times, and then you had talked about wanting to kind of share that story and find a way to do that, and then the NPR thing came up. So actually, all in all, like you actually got the story pretty right.
Yeah.
Less hair flipping.
Less hair flipping. I don't think I had long hair at that point. But.
No. Actually, I might have had longer hair than you did at that exact
yes.
point. Actually,
you
did. Maybe. Yeah, so things have changed. But then through the process of this, we had some stuff in my family, which was interesting, which not all the details are important. The one interesting one is that I ended up in this process with a diagnosis for PTSD.
You're welcome.
Right. So I was like, well, that's unique. That's fun.
That's fun. I think that's very convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
It makes you a little bit more invested.
Yeah, makes me more vested. Now, here's the other thing, is that in this podcast, one of the very interesting things is that you received your diagnosis how many years ago?
12 years ago, July.
Yes, 12 years ago, lots of individualized counseling. You went into group counseling way down the road. Because group counseling is not for the weak, and you would never recommend it first off to anybody. Personally,
I wouldn't. I don't know about professionals.
Right. But. Yeah, I don't know about them. But what happened to me was that I got a real quick diagnosis and ended up directly in a group environment.
And I was shaking my head.
Yes, you were.
Oh.
What happened? Why? So we have some very unique perspectives on some things. And also, it's interesting, I think, in the podcast because you have a lot of experience not only recognizing PTSD, but also kind of figuring out how to manage and how to work with stuff. And Angela is sending you love. I don't know who Angela is.
Thanks.
She has to finish her yoga workout, but I'm going to come back and finish watching afterwards. I feel like we're more important than yoga, and we stretch the mind and the spirit, not just the body.
He doesn't speak for us both.
I do. Okay. Anyway, yoga's fun.
It.
My kids do it. It's great. So anyway, thanks for coming in, Angela. But so you have a lot of experience with a lot of pieces of this, and I am very new and very green to this. So myself and my family, we are actually still navigating some fairly fresh water in this world. And figuring out how to do some stuff. So it makes this it makes it interesting. It makes the podcast very fun.
Well, and I think also the female-male perspective.
Yes.
Because it's, I think, even more stigmatizing for men to talk about mental health than for women. Even though, I mean, there's stigma for everyone.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think that's also valuable.
My wife and I actually had an interesting conversation on this exact topic because I was explaining that you and I were talking about the stigma between male and female. And she goes, well, don't you guys talk about this? And I looked at her and I was like, with who do you think I would share this? Just out of curiosity. And she goes, well, why wouldn't you talk about it? So many reasons.
Yeah. And
so many reasons.
That's going to be an upcoming show.
Yes, we will talk about that more in detail in the show. But there's kind of the new and old dynamic. There's the male-female dynamic. There's the dynamic that that I think Kelly and I both function in life with a fair amount of humor. And so I think what I would call a survival trait for both of us is to not take things overly seriously. And sometimes that even includes very serious things. So there's that.
What my counselor likes to call deflection, which I just did. You're welcome.
Good job. This is how it works, people.
I wish I could get paid for deflection, because I would be so
Oh my gosh.
rich.
It's like a superhero power.
It is.
Yeah. You could be the deflector.
The deflector.
Like I can see the outfit and the whole thing.
Mirrors. Well, that's the reflector.
The reflector, anyway. The deflector. You would need it.
It would be opaque.
Right. It would have to be made out of vibranium from Wakanda, for sure.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, God!
I know. I'm ashamed.
Seriously.
I am ashamed. So
I feel like that's our next stop.
I know, right? We have to go watch the Black.
We'll be back. We're gonna go back to.
I just did the old lady thing. I called it the Black Panther.
Oh, we're gonna go check the Google. And we're going to go see what's on the Book of Faces later.
Right. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
On the Facebook.
You suck.
I'm terrible.
Hi, Nance. Thanks for coming. Shouldn't you be working right now, Nancy? There's a question.
No.
No? Okay.
Stop alienating our people.
Oh, sorry. She's very good at what she does. I'm not really sure what she does. Plays with people's money. Some with taxes. I don't know. I know she's really busy twice a year and then she goes on vacation. She's awesome.
To nice vacations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and her husband Dennis rebuilds cars, and they're awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good cat. So we have a lot of good people in our communities, and the people that we hang out with and surround ourselves with, and that is also very helpful. And if we can talk them into it, or if we can get them drunk enough, we will get them on the show.
Yeah.
Either option works for us, actually.
Yeah.
We're not super picky. We don't sign a lot of waivers around here, but we go through a lot of liquor. Man, I feel like that's going to be a trigger for somebody. Don't you?
Yes, we have talked about this. PTSD and addiction.
Yes. Nobody should work on Fridays, Nancy. You're right. So we do have a little trigger warning that we'll figure out an visual version of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
It'd probably just be a piece of paper with the trigger warning scrawled on it.
A little white flag waving. Yes, we got that going for us too. But we're actually really glad that you guys are here. We're super excited about the podcast. And what little piece of knowledge do you think somebody should have today?
About PTSD?
Sure.
Well, right now, I am so tired, I can barely move. And I don't know why. Fortunately, I don't have to call my therapist because I already have an appointment today scheduled. So I will find out with more clarity probably what's going on. So right now I would say if you need rest, whatever that means for you. Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure today what that means for me. I'm kind of going hour by hour
through the steps.
Yeah.
So here's actually, we will talk about this because this was very interesting. So I had a conversation
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Sentences and everything, periods, commas, the whole deal. Sometimes there are, how do I say this? I didn't prep this very well, so I do apologize. What would you say, I'll do it this way, what would you say the benefits of seeking professional help are? Not necessarily just in the scope of PTSD, but with mental health in order, with mental health in general. Because I think there are some people who are very pro seeking help, and there are some people who are very anti-seeking help. And I'm curious to hear why you think it's important to seek help.
The first thing that occurs to me is people who are against seeking help. I want to know their story,
right?
Like where they're coming from, because I find that fascinating. And I think people are quick to jump to judgment. Oh, they don't want to get counseling. And it's like, well, do we know why they don't? You know, sure. Because I think I have been incredibly lucky over the years to have such good people in my life taking care of me or helping me take care of myself, really.
Sure.
So I would say, and I know this is hard, I know. If you don't find the person for you, keep looking.
Yeah.
Just keep looking. And I think the best way to do that would be to get referrals. And that person can understand you and direct you and give you information that nobody else can. Mm-hmm. When you find the right one. Because I've heard just as many negative stories as I've heard positive, which might just be that negative stories are more fun. To tell.
They usually have funner details.
Right. But I work with a lot of people in mental health. I work with a lot of survivors, and they're all in therapy of some kind or multiple kinds of therapy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely part of an overall picture of self-care.
And health.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I wish everybody would go. Just everyone. Just not forever, just pop in like a doctor.
Yeah.
So
I always think it's interesting because the conversation I had, there was a point in the example. I said that's interesting, but like if you break your arm, like you don't sit at home and go, "This is going to heal itself." What am I going to
do?
Well, no. Like, this is going to heal itself.
Oh yeah.
Like if I just if I wrap it and ice it, this is going to be fine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you and I have talked about this on the podcast. Not a spoiler alert, just topical.
Yeah.
But physical things that happen to people that they go see a doctor for, there's a very universal process that brings healing. Mental health wise, it's
a crapshoot
all the time.
Oh man,
all the time. I mean, between docs, therapies, counselors, medications. It's all kind of a mixed bag of tricks where you're jumping in and like hoping that this is going to work for you. And if not, we're going to adjust things. But that adjustment period can put you on a crazy train to hell.
We're still going to hope, though.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work, we're going to come back next week and try something different.
And you know what? People in our culture, like, we're not set up for this either, which makes it doubly hard. But just like when you save for retirement,
yes.
Diversification, I think, is everything.
Yeah.
Like, get in with as many different medical health people as you can.
Okay.
As many specialists, and I mean East and West.
Right.
So
the whole gamut.
Right. And I love my acupuncturist, massage people, massage therapist, yoga person. As many people as you can.
Kim is here, by the way.
Ooh. Oh, hi, Kim. Ah! Because, nobody knows everything.
Right.
Even me.
Shocking as it may sound. Wow. I didn't see that one coming, kids. That's a newsflash.
I'm learning all the time. But seriously, as many people. Yeah. Because they all come from different methodologies, and you can choose what to follow and what not to follow.
Right.
So,
and I think that's part of the piece that people miss is that when even if I break my arm and go to a doctor, I have the option to follow that advice or to not follow that advice.
Right.
Like, I'm not obliged.
You can have a crooked, non-functioning arm if you want.
Right. Yes, you can. I like my arms relatively straight. Mm-hmm. Is it straight? I don't know, kind of. Sorry, tangent. But the other thing that I was thinking about
don't test your middle finger.
No, I won't do it. But the other thing that I was thinking, which is interesting, is that there are people's worldviews and philosophies and religious persuasions, I guess. All of those things, I think a lot of the times play in to what kind of help we're willing to seek.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think sometimes we miss opportunities because we have something that limits us in what we're willing to try to help ourselves.
Right.
Which is weird because, again, in a physical aspect, if I break my leg or break my foot, and the doc says, hey, this process was designed in Cincinnati. That's great. It's all American, and I'm wearing my camo hat and my American flag T-shirt. Yes. Or, hey, this process was discovered, in China or in Eastern Europe, 1,400 years ago or whatever. And we go, oh, no, that's all woo-woo, and, you can't do that. It's like...
but it's been around a lot longer.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Than the steel plate in your arm. I'm just saying. It may take longer, maybe different, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting because even in my respectively short journey, there are things that I have experienced now that probably 5 or even 10 years ago, or 10 or even 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have considered. But part of it is because you get to a point where it's like I'm a little. I don't want to say this in the right way, but I'm a little desperate to get back to like functioning and feeling good.
Yes.
And so when you get to that point, all of a sudden, options become viable.
I'll try anything.
Right. And again, because I open myself to something or because I look at something doesn't mean that I'm obliged to go 10 miles down that path.
Right.
I still get to make the decision for me at what's right and what's not right. But again, I think like you said, that's where that collaboration and finding somebody who you get along with and who you mesh with comes in because it's a dialogue.
Yeah.
Like they're trying things, trying to figure it out. You have to respond and let them know, yes, this is working. No, this is not working. What do we do next? And that communication, that collaboration, I think ultimately is what brings healing.
Yeah, definitely.
Holy cow, that was like a well-formed thought.
It was amazing.
And I'm so glad we got it recorded. Yeah, not a thought.
You're like,
whatever.
Margaret, my wife.
Look. Hey, Jody. Jody Christmas here.
Hi, Jody. Oh, hi, Jody.
Hi. Oh, wait, you're over there. Hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh.
This is only coffee. Promise.
Yeah. Until next week when we do these shows in the evening, not the morning.
Oh.
Then it will be different. Okay, so we just nailed 23 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty solid.
I think with that full paragraph that you just did, we should go out on a high point.
Yeah, just wrap it, huh?
Your cat's staring at me. Don't stare at me, cat. Underneath the camera.
That's the cat that we nicknamed El Diablo.
It looks like he wants to jump on my face.
He may want to kill you. And that's a thing. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for coming in. We are going to do these every so often. I will give Kelly a little further heads up notice so she can dress, not in camo. Yeah, I mean, yay America, I'm all for it. But it's a little much this morning.
It's a lot.
So from the kitchen, take care.
Bye.
I don't want to stop this.